Okay, let's talk about goals and distractions. Let's define a distraction first and foremost. I personally would define a distraction as anything, whatever it is, whose aim is to derail and deter you away from your goal, away from your points of focus. Now, when it pertains to having goals and when it pertains to distractions, when it pertains to having goals in correlation to distractions, when you have clear goals, you won't give into distractions. Here's what I mean by this. Distractions will come in many forms of all kinds of situations, events that aim to deter you and derail you, fundamentally derail and deter your focus from the direction you aim to go in, which is what a goal is. A goal is where you aim to go towards. And let's talk about clear goals. Let's define that word clear. When you hear the word clear, what comes to mind? Clarity. It's clear. It's clear to see. It's clear to know. It's clear in your awareness. Right? You have a clear awareness in regards to the direction you aim to go towards. Now let's talk about intention. Because when it pertains to your goals, when you have intention, when you have clarity, when you have focus, you will not be distracted. You gotta have the goal, which is where you aim to go towards. Then you have your intention, which is intention. Let's define intention. Intentional, which means to do things on purpose. It's on purpose. It's intentional, which means you have to be deeply connected to whatever goal you have. That is the only way it can truly be intentional and truly be on purpose. It's when you have a deep connection from within to the goal, to the direction in regards to the goal you're aiming to go towards. And then clarity. When you have clear sight, when you can see clearly, it means you know exactly what you're going towards. And when you're focused, it means nothing can sway you, nothing can deter you, nothing can diffuse your passion, your purpose, nothing can pull you away from where you're aiming to go towards. That is what it means to have a steady focus. That no matter what life throws your way, you will be focused in the direction you aim to go in. And here's how to overcome distractions. Again, you gotta have a goal. You gotta have clarity, you gotta have intention, you gotta have focus. But when it pertains to avoiding distractions, that's what it is. I've jumped ahead of me, but that's okay. When it pertains to dealing with distractions, there are a few ways you can deal with distractions. One, you ignore the distraction. You don't give it your awareness. You don't give it your time. You don't give it your energy. You simply ignore it. Number two, you don't engage at all, which is similar. But here's the thing. In regards to ignoring means you're not even paying it any kind of awareness. Then when it pertains to not engaging, you can be aware of it. You can give your awareness, right, your observation, but you will not engage. You will not engage with the distractions. Now, whatever distractions life is throwing your way, or life is throwing your way, it's all a distraction. I won't even call it tests. Let's just call it what it is. It's a distraction meant to deter you and derail you away from your goals. You have goals, but you gotta have clarity on those goals. You gotta be intentional when it pertains to your goals. You gotta focus in the direction you aim to go in regards to your goals. You cannot give into distractions. You cannot let distractions affect you, affect your focus, affect your mindset, affect your habits, affect your daily life on a day-to-day basis. Whatever distraction life throws your way, recognize it as that. It's a distraction. When you can simply look and say, okay, I see what this is. It's a distraction. I'm not going to give into the distraction. I'm going to listen, answer me, guys. I'm not going to give into the distraction. I'm going to tune my focus. I'm going to be intentional. I'm going to make sure I keep my clarity within, because clarity within affects the direction you're going towards. When you have clarity within, you can simply go in the direction you actually aim to go towards. Whereas when you lack clarity, what happens? You can go in the wrong direction, which is why clarity is important. You gotta have clarity. You gotta know exactly what you're aiming to go towards. Even if you don't know what the journey is gonna be off, right? You don't have to know every part of the journey. That's what life is about. Life will throw things your way, right? You gotta learn to enjoy the process. Even things that aren't so pleasant, it's about the process. But the thing is this, you gotta have clarity. you gotta have intention, you gotta have focus, and yes, fundamentally, you gotta have action to back it up. You gotta put action to your focus, because whatever goals you have, without action, what happens? Nothing happens. So let's say this again: clarity, intention, and this isn't in any particular order, right? We can say you gotta have the goals, but first you gotta have clarity. Not answer me, guys. You gotta have clarity, you gotta have intention, you gotta have focus, you gotta have action. All of this combined will move you steadily and progressively towards your goal, and will help you navigate when dealing with distractions that life throws your way. Have a great day.